Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. Today I'm making chickpeas or channay and halvapoori. It's a very traditional desi type of breakfast, very filling, so I'd call it more or less a brunch type of breakfast. So I'm starting the night before by soaking 1.5 glasses of chickpeas, just white chickpeas. Just gonna wash them and soak them in some just normal tap water for the night. In the morning, I'm going to start by making the dough for the pooris, which are fried flatbread. I've got 2 cups of whole wheat flour in there, and I'm adding 1 cup of plain normal white flour, some oil in there and some salt, and I'm going to make this into a kind of a stiffer dough than normal roti dough that we make for chapatis. So it's not going to be very hard, but slightly harder than normal roti dough. The key here is the kneading. Need to knead it at least a good 15 minutes. After 15 minutes of kneading the dough, I'm going to let it rest and check my chickpeas. Now these have been soaking overnight. I'm going to put them in the pressure cooker for about 18 minutes until they are nice and soft. So I'm just going to add in some water in there and a little bit of salt, 1 teaspoon, and let them cook in the pressure cooker. Meanwhile, I'm going to start making the halva. So I've got 1 cup of sooji, which is semolina, fine semolina, some butter, and 1 cup sugar. So sooji and sugar are the same amount, and butter is about half of that, and nuts I've got half a cup as well. I'm going to use half a cup of butter now, and then I'm going to use a bit more butter to fry the nuts in. So adding about half a cup of butter, I'm going to roast the semolina on a really low heat. Open up 2 green cardamoms and just pop them in as well, and keep stirring it on a low heat. I'm not going to wait till the butter's totally melted before I added the semolina either. Just going to add it in like that, and keep stirring, keep stirring. We don't want to put it on a high heat. We want to coat the semolina grains in the butter and toast them a little bit. Here I've added some more butter in the middle, just about 1/4 cup, and roasted the nuts in there. I'm gonna add about a handful of raisins in there as well. At this point, the semolina is really nicely toasted. It's not burnt or anything, but just evenly coated, and has a nice smell coming from it. So I'm going to put that to one side and make the syrup to go into that. So 2.5 cups of water and the cup of sugar. Now I had some brown sugar at the bottom of my cup, and then I filled it up with white sugar. So I'm just going to add that in there as well. There's the brown sugar, and mix that. Once that's boiling and the pan, the semolina in the pan is cooled down a bit, I'm going to add this syrup in there and stir it, and then that is done as well. After adding the water, must keep stirring it like this, and for a few minutes until it looks like this. And that is done now. I'm just going to put the lid on and put that to the side and look at my pressure cooker. Pressure cooker has got 4 minutes left on it, so I'm just going to make the gravy for the chickpeas to go into. So I've got onion here that I've chopped, and garlic, ginger, green chilies that I'm going to mash up and put to one side. Adding some olive oil in my wok, and first put in my mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon of cumin. Wait till they pop a little bit. And the spices here are cumin seeds, chili powder, pomegranate powder, amchur powder, turmeric, and the mashed up garlic and ginger and green chilies. So I'm just adding the cumin in there, waiting till it pops a little bit, mustard seeds, and then add in my onions. Onions need to be quite soft before I add anything else in there. So I've just added a bit of salt in there, and I'm not going to brown them or make them golden or anything. I just want them to be soft. So after a while I'm going to add in some water just to help them soften a bit more further. Put the lid back on, and once they are quite soft, adding in some cloves and some black peppercorns, just whole, just in like that. And now that they look a bit more softer, they look quite loose, they're translucent, I'm gonna add in the garlic and ginger and green chili paste. After about a minute or so of the garlic and ginger cooking there, I'm going to add in the rest of the spices and a bit more water to help this cook as well. Now in goes the chopped tomato. Here I felt that the chickpeas were not enough, so I've just got one potato, chopped it up and added it in along with the tomatoes and the gravy there. Just put in some water to help them cook, and I'm going to wait till they are soft now before I add in the chickpeas. Chickpeas are really nicely done, very soft, but I'm going to wait till the potatoes are very soft before I add these in. So over to my potato gravy now. That looks as if it's coming along nicely. I'm going to add in some more water here now because they're not as soft as I want them. I'll be adding the water from the chickpeas into here and let these cook further before I add any of the peas in there. Now the potatoes seem soft and done. I'm going to add in the chickpeas and then just cook it a little while longer with each other. And also I'm going to take some out in a bowl to mash up. Even though the potatoes are soft, the chickpeas are soft, they're not like mushy, which is how I want them. And so I'm just going to give it a good mix here and take some out in a bowl and then mash it with a fork and then put them back in the pot. Mashing some of them up like this and putting them back in the pot will thicken the gravy, so it's really nice to have with the pooris. It's not very nice to have it so thin, so I've mashed that up with a fork. You can do it however you want. You can even go in with the potato masher and mash all of it gently. I've lost mine, so I've just done it this way. I'm just gonna, well, I've added it in now and you can see it's instantly turned the whole dish thicker. That's how we want it. We're going to make the pooris now. So with this, we're not going to roll the dough out with any flour. We're going to roll it out with just some oil. There is already oil over the dough that I put there so that it didn't dry out. So I'm just going to gently roll these and just put them to the side till the oil is hot. Before frying these, the oil needs to be very hot, and then it's just a case of a few seconds on each side, maybe less than a minute, and your poori is done. So I'm just frying these and they bubble up nicely. Because it's whole wheat flour, they don't puff up as much as they do with the plain flour. My traditional style breakfast is ready now. It was very tasty and filling. Do try it out. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and I'll see you again with another. Thank you.